This video has been funded in part by the Guild via Patreon. Check out the links in the description or at the end of this video for more details. Hello everyone, my name is Gildart, and welcome back to another episode of the Import Report, the show where I take a look at the games that we never got. Dynasty Warriors 4 will remain my favorite of the classics, but it was the Japanese Xbox 360 exclusive Shin Sangoku Musou 4 Special that I wanted to add to my collection for a very long time. This game came out in 2006, and it was only recently that I was able to add it to the collection. Now, before we jump further into this video, I do want to talk about today's sponsor. Well, I don't actually have a company sponsoring me, but I seriously have to give a major shout out to the Guild who support this channel on Patreon. These are the people you see in the credits at the end of every single video. The money from Patreon goes back into videos just like this one. Thanks to the support of the Guild, I've been able to talk about Sengoku Basara in the Warriors Clones episode. I've been able to buy both Musha and Musha Mark II Gundam model kits and build them live with you. And now, thanks to them, I'm able to talk about Dynasty Warriors 5 Special. You can join them for only $1 a month, which gets your name in the credits and access to the Guild-only Discord chats where I give behind-the-scenes updates on videos. But there's more rewards and tiers. At $3, you get access to polls that decide channel content. At $5, you get early uploads and script drafts on most videos. And at $10, you can suggest video ideas, and you get access to weekly voice chats where we just hang out, play games, and chill out. If you're interested in supporting the channel and helping me bring more videos just like this one, you can go to patreon.com/ChrisGildart or use the link in the description. Once again, that's patreon.com/ChrisGildart or use the link in the description. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support from the Guild. If it weren't for them, this video wouldn't have happened, and I'm gonna get into why a little later in this video. So when I say that this video was brought to you in part by the Guild via Patreon, I mean it. Now before we get right into talking about Dynasty Warriors 5 Special, I want to tell you about a story. When I got my Xbox 360 as a Zit-infested teen, there were a couple of games that we picked up as a family. My dad got Ghost Recon for himself, we got Oblivion for both of us, and I got Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. I played so much of this game that I nearly got all of the achievements back in the day. The only achievement I was really missing when I came back was that I didn't hire every single officer. Turns out the only one that I was missing was Shahoba. I later got the other early 360 Warriors games like Samurai Warriors 2 and the Orochi games, but there was one that has remained outside of my grasp for far too long. That game was Dynasty Warriors 5 Special. I remember seeing that this was coming out not too long after I had finished Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires for the umpteenth time. I was so excited to jump into the base version of Dynasty Warriors 5 with these graphics. Who knew it would be nearly 2 decades before I would actually be able to start this game up? And that segues very nicely into the first thing we need to touch on, the barrier for entry. In the first episode of the Import Report, I took a look at Samurai Warriors 2 HD, which was released on the PS3. The PS3 is not region locked, so importing games for that is a cinch. It's just as easy as putting your credit card information online for potential hackers to grab, and because this video isn't sponsored by a VPN, you're fucked! But when it comes to the 360, region locking is a pretty big issue. This means that not only do you need to import the game, but you also need to import the console. So, how much did this cost? Well, I found a decent copy of the game for about $50. I later stumbled on the console, complete in box, for a steal of $250. This is all in maple syrup money and includes shipping, by the way. So in the end, in order to play this game, I had to pay a little over $300 for a game that came out in 2006. If you want to play Dynasty Warriors 5 on PS2 or the original Xbox, it's going to cost you around $10 to $15 each for Vanilla and Extreme Legends, the latter being PS2 exclusive. You can also get a console for around $50 to $100 depending on the model and the seller. So you're already looking at less than half of what you'd be paying if you want the experience of Dynasty Warriors 5 Special. But the other thing is that if you buy a PS2 or Xbox in your region, you'll likely pick up more than just Dynasty Warriors 5. The 6th generation of games has so many bangers out there, but the Xbox 360 doesn't have enough Japanese exclusives that I've found to really make it worth it. It's also easier to find a PS2 or Xbox in a local shop that you can easily return if it doesn't work. Meanwhile, buying off online secondhand shops isn't always the most reliable. So right off the bat, The barrier of entry is pretty high compared to most others, and it's all thanks to the guild that I was able to get mine. Now that we got the cost out of the way, the difference is pretty big, especially if you already own a PS2 or Xbox. But what else is different? Well, first off, graphically, the Xbox 360 kicks the ass out of the PS2 and Xbox without a shadow of a doubt. You see, both PS2 and Xbox will display in a 4:3 aspect ratio. The PS2 is capped out at an interlaced 480, while the Xbox is able to achieve a progressive 480. The 360 version displays at 720p in 16:9, filling out most modern TVs. The Xbox 360 is also able to internally upscale to 1080p, but I'm currently upscaling with my M Classic. If you want more info on that, you can check out my video on why I prefer Xbox consoles in general. But the resolution and aspect ratio isn't the only difference. We get gorgeous dynamic lighting and shadows. I actually had someone give me shit for going so hard on shadows in Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper, but come on! You can't tell me this is sexier than this. It's no comparison. Now sure, we get a nice bump in the graphics department, but is that all we get with this? Did I just spend $300 for a prettier version of an older game? Well yes, but also no. Shin Son Goku Musou 4 Special is a sort of Dynasty Warriors 5 Extreme Legends Complete Edition Light. We get Musou mode and free mode with every last character and stage. We also get Legend mode and Extreme mode. This game also comes with all of the additional items that you can get in the Extreme Legends expansion. The big thing it's missing though, Edit mode and Destiny mode. That's right, this seemingly perfect game is just completely missing one of the biggest fan favorite modes of all time. That may or may not be a deal breaker for some. For me, I loved playing through Destiny mode over and over again. I even created new characters just so that I could play through new Destiny modes. I also loved playing free mode and legend mode with my custom characters. And look, I know that the character creator in Dynasty Warriors 5 is fairly primitive and leaves a lot to be desired, but I know I would have loved creating various characters, whether they be my IRL friends, original characters, or characters from other games, anime, and so on. But now that leads me to the bigger question. How was my experience playing this on the Xbox 360? Well, to give you some background, I originally played this on PS2. I played both Vanilla and Extreme Legends back in the day. Even though I was disappointed in the lack of 5th weapons in the Extreme Legends expansion, the additional content it added is definitely welcome. Then I later got it on the original Xbox when I found out that most games provide a progressive display on that console. For some reason, the resolution didn't look nearly as smooth as Dynasty Warriors 3 and 4 on that console. That, plus knowing an even more visually pleasing version existed, I decided not to play as much of Dynasty Warriors 5 as the other games. Now that I have my hands on this Xbox 360 version, I've been playing a lot of this in my free time. I mean, I even premiered a new show called The Daily Grind using this game. I obviously didn't want to have to deal with the basic 4-hit combo with every character playing through their stories, so I figured out the fastest way to get the 3rd weapons, and you can check that video out in the iCard if you're interested. I did end up playing through every Legend mode stage and started playing through multiple characters' stories, whether during my live streams or on my own time. I've even maxed out Lu Bu and Shahodun, obviously, but I'm actually really looking forward to the rest of this game. Similar to my feelings on Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper, I actually want to go for 100% on this game. I can see myself going for maxed out items and the 4th weapons for every character. I've already got all of the horses and orbs, so it's not that much work for me to go for 100% completion, even though I only got this game last year. But with all of the praise that I've given this game, is there anything that falls flat other than the lack of edit and Destiny mode? Well, yes, there is. There never seems to be a perfect package when it comes to Dynasty Warriors, and Shin Son Goku Musou 4 Special is no exception. On top of omitting fan favorite modes, the performance on 360 isn't quite as reliable as it was on PS2. I would say though, it's about the same as the original Xbox. There may be the odd time that you'll notice a bit of slowdown, but it's rare enough that you'll forget the slowdown even exists by the time you experience it again. On top of the odd performance issues, there is one aspect that really grinds my gears, and it's an issue that's shared with Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires, which we actually did get on the 360. For some strange reason, both Dynasty Warriors 5 Special and Empires do not include the Dynasty Warriors 4 costumes. I hate this. I love playing with previous or even different costumes. do I look like a default costume kind of guy? I used to use the Dynasty Warriors 4 costumes all the time. That's literally my favorite of the classic games. This also means we never got the alternate Dynasty Warriors 4 costumes in HD. That is, unless you count Dynasty Warriors 4 Hyper. We did later get the Dynasty Warriors 4 costumes in Warriors Orochi 2, so there is a way for us to play with those costumes on the 360, though I would have liked to see them here because the lighting engine is a little different. There are some other issues I have with the game, which stems from it being one of the classics. There is no camera control. Samurai Warriors 2 introduced that, which was extremely nice to have. I still find myself using the right stick when playing these classic games just out of habit. You also can't turn off subtitles during events. I can't read this text anyways, and these mid-stage events would look so much nicer without it at the bottom of the screen. Actual cutscenes are also zoomed in from the original 4x3. This means we lose some of the picture of what we would have seen on the PS2 version, rather than expanding what we would see for the 16:9. And even though they had every opportunity to, they did not add the 5th weapons that we saw in Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends. This was a major con when I did my review of Dynasty Warriors 5 back in the day. All they would have had to do is make the player do the 4th weapon requirements in Legend mode, but on very hard. That's it. In the end, I know I had my complaints about Dynasty Warriors 5 Special, but my god, this revitalized my love for this game. Now don't get me wrong, Dynasty Warriors 4 is still going to remain my favorite of the classics. I just used to rank these as 2, 5, 3, and 4. But it's looking like 3 and 5 are about to switch places. And it's not just because I now have a prettier version of the game, it's because I've now spent so much time with this game that I've realized just how good it is. And I wouldn't have spent this much time if it wasn't for this game being so pretty. There, I fucking said it. I love the character and stage designs. I've even started thinking about other daily grind episodes I could make for Dynasty Warriors 5. Sure, it has its setbacks like the lack of Dynasty Warriors 4 costumes, no, I'm not giving that up, and the lack of camera control. Not to mention the omission of edit and destiny modes. Why we couldn't get an actual Extreme Legends Complete Edition until Dynasty Warriors 8 is beyond me. But all my other little nitpicks don't really change my desire to continue playing this game. That's why you're going to see a whole lot more content with this game in the future. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Import Report on Dynasty Warriors 5 Special. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe for more. Have you had a chance to play this game? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to help support this channel and what I do here, you can join the guild just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen right now. You can join their names at the end of every single video for just $1 a month over on Patreon, or you can donate in a one-time fashion and join the volunteer unit over on Coffee. A special shout out to my guild general Beggy Beg Beg for supporting this channel at the top tier. There are other rewards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.